I've been playing Injustice 2 since March of 2020. Even though I've been moving on to a new main lately, Starfire has always been my main up until now. Unlike a lot of tryhards, I didn't choose her because I read on the internet that she's overpowered. I chose her because I'm a big fan of the new Teen Titans comic books. I can't play as Wonder Girl or the Changeling or even the real Nightwing, but I can at least play as Starfire. Her sister, Blackfire, real name Commander, is an alternate costume you can unlock via source crystals, which I stupidly did, still too noobish to understand that I should have been saving those retarded crystals for better uses. At the time, I thought it was worth the purchase though, because even though I was using all my source crystals, I was getting an alternate character. Blackfire, a character I knew well from the comic books and was excited to see her interactions with Coriander. I was pretty much immediately disappointed because choosing Blackfire doesn't really change any dialogue. If you play as Starfire using the Blackfire costume, most of her dialogue is exactly the same. It wasn't until very recently that I had the epiphany. Blackfire is an alternate costume, not an alternate personality. If you're wondering what the difference is, you can see it in other characters. If you pick Reverse Flash, his dialogue changes because he's a completely different person. Same for Bizarro, Vixen, Black Lightning, Jon Stewart, Power Girl, others. When you pick those in the costume select, you're choosing a different person altogether, and the dialogue changes because of that. Not just their outfit or their appearance. Supergirl and Power Girl aren't even voiced by the same actress, despite the fact that they're the exact same person. Now let's cut back to Blackfire. Blackfire 2 is a completely different person from her sister Starfire. While Starfire is bloodthirsty in combat, she's honorable and brave and definitively a hero. Blackfire, on the other hand, is vicious, cunning, manipulative, and sometimes a little cowardly. They are not the same person. They have different personalities and look very different. The Blackfire costume is just Starfire with an alternate color scheme. Even though she's a completely different person, her face doesn't change, her dialogue doesn't change, she's just Starfire dressing up as her sister. Imagine if you wanted to play as Reverse Flash, but when you chose him, he looked exactly like real Flash and did the same things Flash would do and say, but not the things Reverse Flash would do or say. You'd be annoyed, as I am. This is extremely jarring for those of us who actually get Starfire, her character, and her backstory, as well as Blackfire. Driven by jealousy and hatred, Blackfire sold out her home planet to aliens and got her sister taken as a slave. Starfire lived for years as a slave, being oppressed and humiliated, banished from her only home by her own flesh and blood. They had this intense feud all their lives, always at each other's throats. When Starfire finally escapes her slavers and joins the Teen Titans, she finds a new home, only to be torn from it later when she is brought back to Tamaran and told that she has to participate in an arranged marriage to avert civil war. The civil war in question was secretly being driven by Blackfire, who was trying to usurp power from her own family, all the while secretly using the arranged marriage and the rebellion to destroy her sister and take over the planet. Starfire agrees to the marriage begrudgingly, to save her people like a real hero would, even though it destroys her relationship with Dick Grayson, her only true love. Then when the Civil War hits and a period of prolonged fighting ensues, Starfire and Blackfire have an intense final battle. Before she can finally kill her sister for good though, her own family and the other royal elders show up and say they've decided Blackfire will continue to rule Tamaran under their counsel. Because even though she's ruthless and manipulative and evil, her reforms were genuinely good for their society, and under her rule they stood a chance against the alien invaders that had threatened Tamaran's peace for so long. Ever thinking of her people, Starfire begrudgingly lets her sister live, but can't stand to see her home ruled by her monster of a sister. Leaving her arranged husband, she goes back to Earth and tries to rekindle her relationship with the only lover she ever really cared about. Now, I skipped some details for the sake of brevity, but you can see, based on this brief summary, that Starfire and Blackfire have this intense relationship of hatred and infighting. They always butt heads when they see each other, both thirsty for the other's blood. One for the sake of revenge and justice, the other for the sake of jealousy and power. They fought to the death numerous times, and every time Starfire almost gets the kill, some random crap happens to let Blackfire escape, so her vengeance is never satisfied. Her bloodlust for her own flesh and blood never sated. So of course, Injustice 2, being a quality game made by NetherRealm Studios, does so well with all the other characters, and I, a naive gamer, assume it will reflect at least the tone of their relationship. They'll meet and be apprehensive, or spout hostile words about how their battle will avenge the wrongs they commit against one another, or something. Instead, we get this.
I thought you would team up with me. How do I know you're a worthy warrior? I'll answer you the Tamaranian way. Is this your trickery, Commander? No, I come from the multiverse. Then go back the way you came. For the Titans! Everybody needs friends.
Everything they say is non-unique dialogue they say to other characters. There's no unique interaction between them. It's the same as matching Starfire with another Starfire. Apart from having different colored hair, there is no Blackfire. My biggest annoyance here is the sad feeling that the character in general was clearly phoned in by NetherRealm Studios. Maybe it's because she was DLC, and they didn't put as much effort into developing her, which might explain why a lot of her moves aren't balanced. I think in general it's a problem of the Injustice 2 developers not understanding the character. Her dialogue, appearance, even personality don't reflect the real Starfire. In other words, they watched the Cartoon Network Teen Titans and just based her off that. The real Starfire rarely used Tamaranian language, and words like Grebnak and Clorbag are all things that were used in the TV show. The real Starfire's star bolts are red, not green. As mentioned previously, she's extremely vicious in combat. Starfire is bloodthirsty and totally okay with killing. In the comic books, it takes a lot of effort for the Teen Titans to get her to adopt the asinine Batman no-killing policy. Her ultimate move even mimics a scene from the Teen Titans TV show's theme song. The fact that she forces Dick Grayson into the conversation for 65% of her dialogue just reflects the fact that the Injustice 2 people don't really get her character or know what she's about. In which case, she shouldn't have been put into the game at all, because if you're not going to do something right, you shouldn't do it at all. The more I thought about this, the more I realized that this isn't the only case of this happening. I can't speak for other DLC characters, but I'm the world's biggest Alien fan, and I was so disappointed in Mortal Kombat 10 to see Alien screwed up good. I mean, look at this crap. It's like the people who made the game never even watched Alien. Why is he standing upright? He's not a bear. They basically went, oh, let's just make him Baraka, but with an alien skin. And that's all they did. This is low effort, guys. This is not NetherRealm Studios quality here, okay? I'm sorry, but this is not a xenomorph. This is a fake-omorph. Or some crap, okay? Bullcrap. The short version of all this is that after months of playing Injustice 2, I've come to the sad realization that when it comes to Starfire, as both a character and a fighter, the Injustice 2 people did a really half-baked job with her. Like, the bare minimum. Even if you don't agree with the stuff I've brought up, pretty much everybody agrees that she is not a balanced fighter. Everyone on the internet likes to cry and whine about how she's overpowered, even though in my experience online, I've never seen anyone else use Starfire unless I used her first. The vast majority of tryhards on the Injustice 2 online mode that I've seen have been using Enchantress or Batman, not Starfire. The takeaway here, I suppose, is that Starfire is unbalanced not only from a combat perspective, but also from a non-combat perspective. Not enough effort was put into her personality, her character, or her playstyle. In short, Starfire was phoned in, and it seems like a lot of other DLC characters may have been too. Try harder next time, NetherRealm.